Today I'd like to talk to you about entrepreneurship. Being an entrepreneur is nothing easy. You can't just sit there and let things happen. Let me give you an example of what I grew up with. At the age of 7, I went ahead and started to deliver newspapers. In grade school, I bought penny candy and sold it for a nickel a piece. Made money that way. I was a little hustler when I was growing up. I'm not going to compare Mark Cuban with me, but we both grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Wexford. He grew up in Mount Lebanon. And we're both the same age. He's actually 2 months older than I am. He went on to be a billionaire. Me, I went into the military. Now, getting back to being an entrepreneur. Mark Cuban's an entrepreneur. I wanted to be an entrepreneur when I got out of the military. I went and had a lot of training for a particular business I wanted to start, heating and air conditioning and refrigeration. I went through 6 months of self-schooling. I bought, oh my gosh, it must have been, I don't know, 30 books on heating and air conditioning and refrigeration, because in Georgia, where I originally had my license, you had to have a refrigeration and heating and air conditioning license in order to do it correctly. By law, you had to. So I studied those books for 6 months, knew them frontwards and backwards, and nobody ever passed the test first time. I went in there, I was determined to go ahead and pass, because you had to go from Augusta, Georgia, all the way to Atlanta, which is about a 2.5 hour drive, and 2.5 hours back. You had, 6 hours worth of tests. That was a lot of hours, I didn't want to have to go on back. So I went ahead and I finished early. Kind of scared me, but that's the way it goes. You don't know for about 3 to 4 weeks if you passed. So I was on pins and needles those 3 or 4 weeks, and I got a letter in the mail, and comes to find out I passed. First time, which it made me feel good about myself, being an entrepreneur. The reason I did this is I went out and I did some jobs and I didn't do them the correct way. After I found how to do these jobs the correct way, only by an inspector coming to check on me, he gigged the jobs, wouldn't let me back on the job site. So I had a friend of mine go up there and finish the job. And that's what made me more determined than ever to go ahead and learn more about anybody else in that field. I did, and it proved a point to myself that if you want to make it in life, you're going to learn how to do these things. No matter what you want to do in life, what kind of entrepreneur you want to be, you need to learn about that specific niche. If you want to be a financial expert, by all means, be a financial expert. Learn everything you can to be a financial expert. If you want to sell items on Amazon, learn everything you can about being a salesperson on Amazon. If you want to sell on different platforms other than Amazon, learn everything you can. Read everything you can about it. Watch videos about it. They didn't have videos when I was trying to be an entrepreneur in heating and air conditioning and refrigeration. I learned how to resell through courses. I do arbitrage online. I do retail arbitrage. I use different types of software to do so. And the best thing for you to do is to learn everything you can about it. If you want to touch on some things, a great instructor, if you want to learn how to sell online, a fantastic instructor would be Brian Gura. I belong to most or all of his entrepreneur classes. But let me tell you something, entrepreneurship is not easy. You have to work and fight for everything you get. Like Mark Cuban says, you need to go ahead and fight. Every time somebody is out to get you, you will lose if you sleep. Right now they've got programs that don't sleep. You can put everything in your computer and you can let your computer do whatever it needs to. And you can sell, if you want to go to a heating and air conditioning type beginner school, I've got a class coming out on that myself. Once it's up and running, I'll put a link down below. Just remember, you cannot get anything for free. You don't think Mark Cuban became a billionaire letting somebody else run over him? No. Mark Cuban doesn't let anybody else run over him. If you understand hard work and you understand how hard it is to make ends meet. Let me give you an example. You can go on YouTube and find all these people with these fancy Lamborghinis. You know, they either got it handed to them because they damn sure didn't work for it. You need to learn the truth about people like this. If you want to make your life better, you need to go ahead and work for it. It's constant. It's hard work. All around me, I've got boxes full of merchandise I'm waiting to ship. I've got a garage full of merchandise I'm waiting to ship. I've got a bedroom full of merchandise I'm waiting to ship. I'm not sleeping on anything. As far as I can go, I'm going to take it. What I do with my earnings, I pay my car payment, I pay my house, my rent. I pay my rent and I pay my car payment. And I've got a little extra for more food if I need it. I make my bills. I got my credit cards paid. There you go. And I'm just starting out. I started out, let me back up. I started out about 2 years ago doing arbitrage. Did it kind of slow, was very cautious, I should say. And that's one thing you should not do if the market is right. That's why I am where I am now and where some people are where they are now. Because they weren't cautious. At the time, I didn't have but about $50 to put into the program. And it really turned out very well for me. So, you know, consider whatever you've got, you know, $10, $15. If you got something like that to start out with, fantastic. Start out with that. Be an entrepreneur. You can work for yourself. I do. I have for... Actually, I've worked for myself for over 40 years now. And working for the other man, you can make good money, but you can never get ahead. I'm not telling you to quit your job and do this. I'm telling you to do something else on the side, because right now we are in perilous times. This is the best time to strike. Have your cake and eat it too. If you got a job, fantastic, but do something else with your life. This is just a message I'm going to send out to let you know that you're taking the first step. It's all up to you. Find a niche you love. Find something, anything that you like. Also, it is a great idea to have a financial background. I personally had 2 years of business and management, and that helped me out in my original entrepreneur business. I got that in the military. That was 2 years at Pikes Peak Community College. Go to any college, go to a course online, educate yourself. Education is the key. If you want to be an entrepreneur, learn what you have to do. That is the most important thing. I cannot stress that enough, please. Learn the ins and outs of the profession you choose.